My name is Andrew Fawcett. I'm the director and owner of Yorkshire Prayer Centre. I've been doing falconry for approximately 43 years. I started about 11 years old, and it tended to just grew and grew and grew, and people kept bringing birds from the wild and injured, so I sort of took care of them, and it just grew from there. And I think now I have over 100 birds here. There's 108 birds here at the centre. And we do have, which I'm very proud of, 79 flying birds here that go through on a very regular basis. I built the centre in 2011 with my family and 15 volunteers, which do very well here at the centre. But what we thrive on here is conservation and education. We're proud to say that we do education second to none here, and hands-on experience, which is good for the public. The public are very important to us. Obviously we have the passion for the birds, but obviously we also have a passion for the customers, and we try, when they visit the centre, we try our best to make sure they leave with a smile. Lockdown affected us quite a bit, to be honest. We didn't panic in any way, because we had some funding that we'd accumulated through the years of being here, so we had a little nest egg, as it were, that we could use as funding to keep us going. So we weren't under pressure, but we actually locked down 2 weeks before the government told us to do so, for the health and safety of us, the volunteers and the public, obviously, because you work close quarters. But in other ways it was a positive, because we could spend more time in the centre maintenance wise and taking building different areas for the birds, giving new housing, and generally making the business better as a whole, to be honest. But the public was just incredible. Around about 3 months after lockdown, we'd used almost the finances that we had accumulated in the bank. So then we didn't panic, because we know we have good family and friends and so on that will keep the place going for us anyway. So yeah, we got together, we did an ethical review on what we're going to do with the centre, and luckily the government stepped in at the right time, in my opinion, and offered us, I think we got £10,000 as a normal business would get. I think there was something like 720,000 businesses got that £10,000. And just my opinion, I think the government did the right thing there, and that was a great help. But the best help came from the general public. The public was ringing in saying, can I sponsor a bird? I mean, it's only £1 a week, but the point is it does accumulate up there. So some people are spending more money, and so they were helping us that way. And people ringing in saying, can I do any maintenance work for you at the time, because there was obviously lockdown. And so I think the general public, we owe a massive thank you to them especially. We've got responsibility as a company to make sure the public is safe, but the public also have responsibility as well for themselves, which can be difficult when you get quite a lot of people in. And some days we have over 100 to 150 people in on a regular basis. So that's very difficult to make sure we have a 2 metre distance, what the government recommended. So we did the best we could, to be honest with you, and we put plenty of sanitisation around there. We bought extra 2 sinks so people could wash their hands. We did routine, and signs everywhere. But again, there's only so much you can do. When they go into the cafeteria area, we can control that. When they're out in the railroad, out in the flying arena and around the wood area and things like that, we can't control it, it's too big of an area. So we relied on the public's view as well. And to be fair, the public have been absolutely excellent at it, and we've had no problems at all at the moment. I don't think there will be. It's a funny thing to say, because none of us know what's going to happen in the future. I don't think you can predict the future, and the future is what you do in the present. So we have to look what we're going to do today, but then we're going to think of tomorrow. And I think at the moment that's the best way going forward for us. We'll just try the best we can. Regards visitors numbers coming in, it's getting better and better. So that's improving. Obviously it means I've got more more sort of restrictions to put in place for the amount of public coming in. So I think we're going to take day by day, I think for the time being, and in a few months' time, if things change, or hopefully within 6 months it changes, then we can start predicting what we'd like for the future.
And believe it or not, one of these just swooping down. She said they're taking me dog. There wasn't taking the dog. All they were doing is showing presence. I'm over here. I am massive. I will take you if I want to do. That's what Lookby's saying, okay? So if you look back in the council there, close the canal bank down.
We're thinking about extending our season for several reasons. When we first opened in 2011, we closed, I think, about end of October, I believe, looking back, or the beginning of October, I believe, there. And then we kept getting phone calls, and there were positive ones, but negatives also. When I said negative, there was saying that would want to come during winter, and why was we closed in winter? Now we know winter's a terrible situation for any zoo or any bird of prey centre. It's difficult to keep the paths clean so that health and safety wise the people are safe to come in. So we increased that year after year. But this year we've had that many people phoning saying, I want to book a party in December, or I want to book this in November. Then we're going to extend it to the 18th of December this year. So we're almost going to take it to Christmas. And I think the public deserve that. You know, it's okay, the public's supporting us, you know, which is incredibly supportive they have been for us. We have to support the public. So we need to get together now, and I think, and extend our season, yes.
I can't. He hasn't been imprinted.
Andy,
Yes.
what's the wingspan you don't like?
It's difficult. It's a good question, love, there, because they're all different. So if I said to you, he's 7'3", you're going to come up to me and say, well, I know I'm 7'4", am I right? Yeah. Okay, you've asked a good question. In flight, they're going to be 6 foot.
We have support from the public tremendously by visitor numbers. The visitor numbers are just going up each season, It's incredible. And we are now getting more children involved, okay, as well, which is great. Because then they go home, obviously, look at nature programmes and take it on board and do everything. So I think we also do a lot of the public with conservation work, like bird box building. We have a team going out to people that have land, who own land, and survey the area, and we build bird boxes for them, and we actually build them for free, and we actually erect them for free, so there's no cost to the customer whatsoever, and we get the customer involved there, so that's good to a relationship with the customer in nature. And then what we do in return, we ask the customer to ring us up or email us just that there's been a bird spotted near the nest or near the box. Okay, and then we ask their permission to go down and assess the situation, make sure there's enough food for the birds, obviously, to live. And between us all, we keep a log with the customers. And I think we do quite well with that. We also do the Falconers Club every year. We have a very good volunteer, Chris, who comes in and does the falconry there for us with his daughter. And that's a massive success, because parents come and have a coffee in the cafeteria, and the kids go then do falconry and learn about to do with medieval history, things of that nature. So there's that goes on here as well. School visits, you know, we're doing a massive amount of school visits here. But it's just general education. I think zoos lack that, personally, in my opinion. I think they lack the education in a lot of zoos. I appreciate they're busy, the bigger zoos are really busy, but there's still a protocol we need to keep the zoo licence, and one of them is education. So I think that's where we're going to thrive on that again, I think, in the future is that. School visits are important to us. We do get quite a lot of school visits into the centre, but we do more outside. And the last couple of years I've had 2 vans going out almost daily to schools, especially primary schools. We're now extending that to universities. We do a lot of work with Askham Bryan College now. We bring them pupils to here, and we give them an educational visit here regarding animal welfare, things of that nature. So schools are massively important. Parents ring us up and say, my child's got a lot of homework to do a night and day, things of that nature, and we help them free with that. We send them facts through there by emails and things we need to do, or we'll pay them a visit at home if we have to do, to make sure the child's doing well in the homework.
The bone starts at the mandible here, and it goes all the way over the head, right down to about there. So all that extra power there, vertebrates aren't very powerful here, so all them do that thrusting power, how they can do it, which is incredible. Thank you.
Now we do quite a lot of sponsorship here, to be honest. What we generally ask, when we do the normal flying shows in the day, we do mention you can sponsor a bird here, like most zoos will do. But we come up with a situation where we feel guilty in some respects taking money off the public for sponsoring birds. They're sponsoring your passion in the zoo. So we thought it must be something we can do better for the public, to say a massive thank you for what they do for us. So what we tend to do is, we're not interested in a large sponsor. We don't want somebody to come with thousands of pounds to sponsor a bird. It's not about that. It's the little amount in continuity which makes the difference. Because also then that little amount, and most people pay £1 a week into the bank, to be honest, for a bird. And we always say, pick a bird in the Falconry Centre that you can spend time with when you arrive here. So people tend to ring us a couple of days before they do the visit, and so we can make sure the birds are what we call flying weight, obviously. And then the public come in then, the sponsored, let's say a owl, let's say an eagle owl, then they can have an hour with the eagle owl. They can fly in the ring on their own with us present, obviously for safety, and they're getting to learn with that animal we're sponsoring. And that is going really, really well here, to be really honest. I think because it gives you opportunity for the children to see what's been sponsored. Zoos do need sponsorship for animals, and unfortunately you can't spend an hour with a lion. We can appreciate that, it's a different scenario. But with here, or zoos and bird of prey centres, it's a lot easier for the public to spend an hour with the animal they're sponsoring. So since we did that, it's just gone well ballistic, to be really honest, and sometimes we're getting 4 or 5 a day, actually, in the week, actually, for people sponsoring birds, which is more difficult for us, because we've got to spend more time then with the public at certain times. But that's what we thrive on here, and all 15 volunteers here think the same way, to be fair.
And binocular. So a raptor will take a picture 1,000 times a second. You camera experts will know better than me about that, okay? There, with binoculars, that's above the head, like a pigeon. Then, they take 1,000 frames per second average on the left. Then with the binocular vision...
I think the future for here for 21 is looking really positive. There's obviously will be some negatives, because in any business, or any business, you've got to strike the balance, because your passion, obviously, how it exceeds the business sense, as it were, but occasionally you've got to have a business head rather than the passion, which is very difficult. So at the moment I see the future of York Bird of Prey just going better to better situation. You know, we've got plenty of land to play with, we can expand. So we're talking now, the team and I are talking with ethical reviews about different birds. Do they need a bigger weathering? You know, do we need a bigger flying arena? So I think what we're doing in the future is we're going to improve that side of things. Some of these birds I think need a slightly bigger weathering, especially if they're going to go into a breeding programme. So I think we're going to concentrate on that, and we're going to concentrate on, I think, a children's play area. I think that's what's missing here at York Bird of Prey. We get quite a lot of children here who are very young. The interest in the birds are very short-lived sometimes during the day, the attention there with the birds. So in between shows and handling, I think it'd be nice to give them something where the parents can relax and they can watch the child in the play area in a safe scenario and have a good visit.
We are ready for action. Go! Hi, get going, go on boy, get going, get going, get going! Good lad there, well done there, excellent. Good lad. Well, thank you for that, James, thank you.
I'd like to say, if I can, to the public, I mean, my family have been amazing, my wife and my children. I have 2 sons, and they're both here. I know one's only 5-year-old, but Connor's 22. And then I have a lovely daughter who spends occasional time in the cafe, but she has her own business elsewhere, okay, doing what she does. So I'm very lucky to have a good family supporting me. I have a fantastic wife, and the business runs so well with her. It's just a massive bonus to the company, so that's very good. But we mustn't forget what we're all here for, and that's the public. Whether we do education, or conservation, or flying shows, the public needs to support it, and I think that's amazing. And I want to thank, really, if I could thank them personally, every one person that comes in, I would do so. The public have been phenomenal here, and we've had tremendous amount of support, and he still carries on stronger every day.